Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 3 brand new scab bosses that are going to be coming to Lighthouse in the Lighthouse expansion. At least that's when I assume they're going to be coming to the game. Now, based on the images that we did get, it is possible they come before the expansion, but we'll get into that in just a second. We're going to take a look at all 3 scab bosses that Battlestate Games did drop pictures of on Twitter, but just know there is supposed to be a 4th scab boss, and he's presumably the guy behind the Light Keeper, which is going to be our in-raid trader, which looks to be some sort of sniper cultist, which is going to be pretty cool, but we don't have any new images on that just yet. Do me a favor before we hop in, make sure you drop a like on this video and make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Let's hop into that first rogue boss, Birdeye. So here's our image of Birdeye. This is going to be our first rogue boss that we're taking a look at here today, and he is going to be up on the hills overlooking the water treatment facility. That is important based on the preview images. At least we are getting the assumption that he's going to spawn up on the hill. This could be wrong, this could be changed, but just take it into account once we take a look at the next 2 scab bosses. Birdeye is going to have an Acez, which is probably going to have M61, M62, or M993, and then what I would assume to be an M4A1 on his back that is suppressed with the laser, some sort of CTR or Mo stock, and you guys are going to notice there is a little camper axe on his holster. I do not see a pistol, but the reason that's important is because anytime you kill Birdeye, you can probably get an extra like 15, 20, 25k off of him if he is carrying that camper axe. That's just what I assume it is. Could be a new melee weapon, might not be, but it's there to note. It could just be a feature of his rig. It could be any of the following, and I just wanted to point it out. Some other notable things here is he's wearing a schmog, and he does have a pair of contacts around his neck. The tack rig looks super beefy, but we don't know if this is actually going to be some sort of new tack rig or maybe an armored rig, but it does look to be some sort of armor under that rig because of the fact that it's pretty much an all black under the mag pouches, and you can see his shirt is a red and gray color. That's basically what I took away from it, and you can kind of see like that neck armored area of the quote-unquote armored vest by the schmog and by his ear. You can kind of see it sticking up a little bit there. I just assume that's what I'm looking at here. So not too much to break down on Birdeye, but scoped Acez. If you guys are struggling with that gunsmith for the Acez and you can't get a marked key and stuff like that, Birdeye is going to be your guy to farm for that Acez. And just in general, the Acez is a super fun weapon to use in Escape from Tarkov. And honestly, man, Birdeye's pretty cool. But I would say he's probably one of the more boring scab bosses we're going to be taking a look at here today. Let's hop into the next one. The next one is going to be Knight, and this guy looks absolutely lethal. This guy looks insane, man. So there's a couple things I just want to point out in general that are really cool before we start breaking down his stuff. Look at both sleeves, man. I mean, the one having the bear, the USEC, the dog tags, and patches wrapped around his arm, that is so cool. Man, I would love to, like, trade in a Ragman, like, 250 dog tags of each class, and have a unlockable sleeve like that. Like, just think about that. That is so fucking cool. And if you got like 250, 500, even 1,000 PMC kills, and you only had to trade in 500 of each tag or something like that, that would be such a cool clothing to unlock. And I think it looks really cool. The other thing is the map on his other arm. I mean, that's really cool, man. If you could like somehow inspect your arm and have a map just strapped to your arm, that's really fucking cool, man. I like those small details on this scab boss. The helmet, the fucking mask, the skull. It actually looks like a legitimate skull, and it might even be. It looks super sick. The dreads look really dope. Looks like there's some sort of face mask under there as well. But overall, the profile of Knight looks super, super amazing and deadly. We have a secondary there being some sort of Glock with a big stick. Obviously 9mm, probably going to have rip rounds, just kind of a standard for raiders and for your scab bosses, but it might have AP and it might have 7N in it, whatever. I don't remember what it's titled as now, PB or something, but might have 7N in there as well, but it just looks like it's either going to be a Glock 17, Glock 18. Could be something different, but just based off the magazine, that's what I see. And obviously we have the Scar Light, the 5.56 Scar, probably going to be pumping out M995 or something very similar, M855A1, something like that that's going to be penetrating your armor. Overall, there's not too much to break down. Looks to be just a regular tack rig. Can't really see any armors in there as well, so this guy might actually be fairly easy to take out. But I would assume with all scab bosses, with all bosses, and with rogues, you're probably going to be getting auto-aimed pretty heavy, and he's probably going to have a lot of health. So might be one of the easier ones to take out, but he still might be very deadly, and I think he looks super fucking cool. Like, Birdeye looks dope, don't get me wrong, but Knight, the overall profile, just looks like someone you don't want to fuck with in Escape from Tarkov. Let's move into the final scav boss, and definitely one of the cooler ones. The last and final scav boss is going to be Big Pipe. Now, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to break down, but I know what you're thinking. Is that a fucking M32 grenade launcher? And the answer is yes. That is an M32 grenade launcher. So, I'm just going to be completely honest from a player who has a shit ton of hours in Escape from Tarkov. I don't think this is going to be his primary weapon. And the main reason I do not think they're going to put an M32 grenade launcher as a main scav boss weapon is for the sheer fact of how much they have nerfed the GL. Just the regular plain old GL that spawns in marked. And I think there's like one other way to get it from maybe Peacekeeper or some shit, like super expensive, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Battlestate Games nerfed the fuck out of the GL. I think I might have used it once, maybe. It's just like the T7s. It's an item that I rarely use, mainly because I just don't financially fuck myself and Escape from Tarkov. When it comes to grenade launchers in Tarkov, I might have used it once, like I said. There is going to get to a point in the game where we also have underbarrel grenade launchers, and I'm going to assume they are going to be nerfed even heavier as time progresses when it comes to just the GL. But right now, as it sits in Escape from Tarkov, with there only being one grenade launcher in the game, it one-shots, and it has little to no drop on the grenade when you shoot it out of the barrel. You can pretty much kill anybody at 100 meters and not really have to account for any grenade drop. The M32, I think, will be an extremely rare drop from Big Pipe, and we have yet to see the actual weapon that he is going to be carrying. Now, there is obviously his pistol, which is holstered there. I can't really tell what it is. Kind of looks like a P226, maybe an M9, something along those lines. I'm kind of leaning towards M9, but at the same time, it's really not the color profile of the current M9A3 that's in the game. Obviously, we have a more of a tan M9, and this one has some gray tints to it. Obviously, they can make a black Beretta M9, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really fit that profile for me. If you guys know what that pistol is, drop it in the comments. But I think we have yet to see Big Pipe's true primary weapon. If it is indeed the M32, this motherfucker better have the most health out of every scav and rogue boss in the game, and he's got to have a low spawn rate. I mean, if there's people running around with M32s like it's fucking candy, it's just going to be a shit show on every single map, and especially Factory. I mean, do you understand how easy it's going to be to farm scav bosses with an M32 grenade launcher if it does the same damage values that the current GL does? Just think about that for a second, because you could literally go into Factory, find Tagilla, pump 6 fucking grenade launcher rounds into Tagilla. If Big Pipe is easy to farm, just under hypotheticals, you could pump 6 rounds into Tagilla, repair his armor up, and you can do this for any scav boss. It's just Tagilla since it's Factory, small map, easy runs, and you can literally just kill Tagilla without any hassle and literally extract the map with class 6. You can do this to farm armor, you can farm players, and not just on Factory. When it comes to interchange, find a killer, he's going to be an easy kill. When it comes to raiders that might spawn indoors on reserve and having the main man Gluhar, you could easily take out a group of 5 raiders with just a couple grenade launcher shots. I mean, assuming this is a 6-cylinder grenade launcher and it has damage values like we have right now in Escape from Tarkov, it's going to be the most broken gun in the game. And it's not going to be available to buy on the flea market. You're going to have to kill Big Pipe for it. And I can't see a world where this is a common drop. I just can't. It will ruin mid and end wipe. It will just absolutely ruin it. That's just my first take on what I see here. There's not really that much else to break down here. The only other thing crazy that I can kind of see here on our scav boss is going to be the headphones, the glasses, and the headpiece. What looks to just be a skull bandana, which is pretty cool. Obviously, on Tagilla, we have the boss caps. This would be very similar to having one of those helmets that aren't actually a helmet. It's just a hat or some sort of headwear that you get from a scav boss. It's exclusive to that scav boss and potentially scav spawning in. And then you have what looks to be a new pair of sunglasses. What would be really cool is if these were armor as well, just like the Condor glasses, but maybe make these ones like level 2. I think that would be really cool. Just stepping it up one armor class to maybe help with some more of those pistol rounds and a little bit better of the buckshot. I think it stops all buckshot, including 8. 8.5, but I could be wrong on that. So maybe bumping it up one armor class would help out a little bit for getting head eyes. But that's really all we got here today. If I missed anything substantial, let me know. One thing I know I did miss, and I'll touch on it now, is Big Pipe and Knight. They are both in the water treatment center, and then Birdeye is going to be up on the hills, just based on the preview images. That fourth scav boss, we really don't have that much information on, but I will throw up the Lightkeeper image for you right now. And this person, I'm going to put a red arrow on screen to, I would assume is going to be the Scav Sniper boss, which seems to be some sort of cultist type deal. It looks really cool. The image is fantastic. You can't really see much, but there's definitely somebody behind Lightkeeper, and I would assume this is probably some sort of rogue cultist. I love saying that like that because obviously we're dealing with all the rogue PMCs, the rogue camps, the rogue bosses. Imagine this is a rogue cultist. That would be such a great way to pull it all together from Battlestate Games. Love the potential lore that could be happening there, but a rogue cultist boss as the sniper that you somehow have to take out. And honestly, you know, if you really think about it, I don't know how they're going to do that when it comes to how easy is it right now to kill a sniper scav. Incredibly easy. You would have to, you know, somehow provide some really great cover for this guy. And honestly, man, have him hitting a lot of his fucking shots. And you'd have to hit a really nice shot to get yourself to Lightkeeper and do some in-raid trades. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Apologies for the super late video, but Battlestate Games was releasing these. Like, first one took like 4 hours. The next one was 3 hours. The next one was 2 hours. I didn't know if they were going to show that fourth one or not. Might have. I don't think they have at this point, but make sure you're checking out Battlestate Games' Twitter occasionally. They have dropped a ton of content recently, so this patch might be a little bit closer than we think, but I would assume 3 months, give it. Next wipe, that's when we get the Lighthouse expansion, and then maybe we have to wait another 6 months until we get Streets. That's just kind of the blueprint I see right now, but for now, that's going to wrap it up. Super long video, a lot of awesome stuff to break down. Make sure you leave that like and subscribe. It's going to be it for me. Thank you for stopping by. I'm out.